and welcome to Sports 360, your weekly dose of all big sporting events across the globe. Today on the show, Cristiano Ronaldo reached another famous landmark as his two penalties in Portugal's 2-2 draw with France took him to 109 international goals, a joint world record for men's football. New Zealand were crowned first World Test champions after completing a stunning 8-wicket win over India on a dramatic 6th day of the final in Southampton. Sports 360 takes a look at 5 reasons why India lost the WTC final. Now the eyes of the tennis world are back on the All England club as Wimbledon not only makes its return to the tennis calendar but also looks forward welcoming fans at 100% capacity. World number 1 Djokovic leads the way as his chase for a third consecutive Grand Slam crown takes center stage. And UEFA confirmed the away goals rule will be abolished from the European competitions, with a change being put into place in time for the 2021-22 season. And apart from this, we also have our regular segments, Goal of the Week, Player of the Week and the Sporting Moments of the Week. But first up, the cover story you are tracking this week. Spain and Germany have the most Euros, 3 each. Only Spain in 2012 have successfully defended the title. Cristiano Ronaldo is the Euros finals top scorer, and Ronaldo is also the first player to feature at 5 Euros. Here let's take a look at some key stats. The most appearances: Cristiano Ronaldo 24 for Portugal, Bastian Schweinsteiger 18 and Gianluigi Buffon for Italy. And Ronaldo the most goals, 14, followed by Michel Platini 7, Antoine Griezmann 7 and Alan Shearer 7 for England. And meanwhile, the most goals scored in a single tournament is by Michel Platini, that is in the 1984 tournament. And the fastest goal scored by at the Euros is the Dmitry Krichenko, is after 1 minute 7 seconds against Greece in 2004 editions of the Euro Championships. And as far as the fastest hat-trick, it goes to Michel Platini. He scored within a time interval of the 18 minutes, that is against Yugoslavia in the 1984 tournament. And apart from this, we also have another stat, that is the most final campaigns, and that goes to Ronaldo. He appeared in the 5 tournaments starting from 2004, and the most trophy won by the team in the Euro is Spain, that is 3 from 1964. That started, and the second trophy came in 2008, third in 2012, and followed by Germany. With West Germany, they won 3 trophies, that is 1972, 1980 and 1996. These are the 2 most successful teams at the Euros. So moving to the next story, the records are keep just coming in for Cristiano Ronaldo. He has only played 3 matches in the Euro 2020 and has already collected another moments of history. Ronaldo became the all-time top scorer at the European Championships. Ronaldo now has 14 goals in the competition, leaving France's Michel Platini behind on 9. More in this report.
Another day, another record for Cristiano Ronaldo when he appeared against France in Group F matches and extended his remarkable run of scoring 14 consecutive international tournaments, stretching back to his first at Euro 2004. Tributes for Ronaldo pour in after Portugal superstar became top goal scorer in men's Euro. In international men's football, Ronaldo levels former Iranian striker ASHLEIGH, who scored 109 between 1993 and 2006. Since Ronaldo's first international goal against Greece, he turned up in the closing stages to make sure the job is done. That in itself is a testament of Ronaldo's supreme fitness and determination. Almost 19 years of making his debut for Sporting Lisbon, it is a mark of Juventus forward enduring greatness that he is still pursuing himself to score in the final moment when the most of players are feeling the physical effect of draining 90 minutes. Ronaldo is a peerless example to his teammates and to footballers across the globe because his enthusiasm and desire remains equally intense when he first started playing as a teenager. Sports Desk, DD India.
The Euro 2020 format has been criticized, but there is no doubt that it produced a gripping night in which every conceivable scenario seemed to come into play. So fine were the margins between victory and defeat that Germany, Portugal and Hungary faced elimination for at least few moments during the 90 minutes. Ultimately, it was Hungary who finished bottom of the group. Let's take a look at the reactions of fans.
Hungary fans felt almost every emotion as their team just missed out on qualifying for the last 16 of the European Championship in Budapest. Cheering their nation on from a fan zone, the supporters saw Hungary take the lead twice against Germany in Munich, but they were pegged back twice to draw 2-2.
Erre pedig járunk meccsekre, soha senki nem számított. Tehát az, hogy mi a 83. percig izgulunk, hogy Münchenben megverjük a németeket.
The result meant Hungary were eliminated from the competition. But before they conceded the second equaliser, Marco Rossi's team were close to a last 16 match against England or Belgium. Hungary drew with both France and Germany, having frustrated Portugal for most of their opening game before eventually losing 3-0. On the other side, Germany fans were delirious with excitement as they watched their team fight back twice to draw 2-2 with Hungary and earn a place in the last 16 of the Euro 2020.
Deutschland hat sich ziemlich gequält, muss ich sagen. Das Ergebnis, ja, ist okay. Also ich kann damit leben. Sind jetzt Zweiter, glaube ich, in der Gruppe und ja, ist okay.
The Alliance Arena was illuminated in the colours of the German and the Hungarian flags as supporters left the venue after the match. French fans were proud to see Les Bleus finish top of the group, who crowded around bar terraces in Paris to watch their team draw 2-2 with Portugal. The world champions faced the European Championship holders in a very tight game in which Karim Benzema and Cristiano Ronaldo scored 2 goals each. For Benzema, it was his first goal for France since 2015 after ending a 5-year exile with the national team, making his fans such as ASHLEIGH joyful to see him shine in the team. France will now play Switzerland in the last 16 in Bucharest on Monday. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now it's time for the goal of the week. We have seen some cracking goals at the Euros, but Luka Modric just topped the cloth with his sumptuous strike in Croatia's 3-1 win over Scotland. The midfielder, who was named as the best player at the 2018 World Cup, was back to his elegant best against Scots, who had no answers to his superb distribution and ball control, but it was his goal that will be remembered. And this is Sports 360 Goal of the Week. After last year's Wimbledon championships were cancelled due to COVID-19 pandemic, the attention of the tennis world once again turns to the All England club, where tennis immortality will be at the mercy of men's world #1 Novak Djokovic. Let's take a look at the contenders at the Wimbledon.
Men's contenders, Novak Djokovic. With Rafael Nadal sitting out of this year's Wimbledon Championships and doubts hovering over Roger Federer's fitness, world #1 Novak Djokovic has tennis immortality at his mercy, with a record equalling 20th major men's singles title and a calendar slam at stake. By virtue of winning the French Open over a week ago, Joker became the first man in Open-era history to achieve a double career Grand Slam, further staking his claim in the long-running greatest of all time debate in men's tennis. The 34-year-old displayed extraordinary mental toughness in the final, coming from 2 sets down to overhaul Greece's Stefanos Tsitsipas in 5 sets to win his 19th major title and again expose the gulf between himself, Federer and Nadal and the ups and comers in men's tennis. Roger Federer. For Roger Federer, this is just about his final chance to add to his tally of 20 major men's singles titles, which has remained stalled since 2018 Australian Open. A knee injury he picked up at last year's Australian Open, as well as the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, which caused havoc on the tennis calendar, means he has not played as much tennis as he would have hoped in the past 18 months. After bypassing Australia Open in February due to fitness and quarantine concerns, Federer contested the French Open where he reached the 4th round, only to withdraw before his match against Matteo Berrettini due to fitness concerns. Stefanos Tsitsipas. One player with the potential to do well on the grass courts of Wimbledon is Stefanos Tsitsipas. The Greek star very nearly struck a blow for the so-called next gen by leading Novak Djokovic by 2-0 in the French Open final earlier this month, only to lose the final 3 sets as he buckled under pressure of playing in the biggest final of his fledgling career. Afterwards, the 22-year-old put the defeat into perspective, revealing that his paternal grandmother had died just 5 minutes before taking to court. This, more than anything, should motivate him to make a deep run at Wimbledon, where his best result was reaching the 4th round in 2018. In his most recent appearance, however, he crashed out in the first round in 2019, losing to Thomas Fabiano. Women's contenders. ASHLEIGH Barty. Australia's best hopes of a first female Wimbledon championship since Evonne Goolagong-Cawley in 1980 rests on ASHLEIGH Barty. Her fitness remains a concern after being forced to abort her French Open bid in the 2nd round. The Queenslander had performed well since the Australian swing, defending her title in Miami as well as winning the Stuttgart Open before losing to emerging rival Aryna Sabalenka in the final of the Madrid Open in May. She then suffered a training mishap at the Roland Garros, where she was forced to pull the pin midway through the 2nd set of her match. Serena Williams. For Serena Williams, time is running out on her chance to equal Margaret Court's long-standing record of 24 major singles titles. Approaching the age of 40 and not having yet won a title for the year, the 39-year-old has produced some modest results this year, reaching the semi-finals at the Melbourne Park in February and then reaching the 4th round at the French Open. Her loss to Elena Rybakina at the Roland Garros has again raised questions about whether she still has the hunger to do well at the majors. But given her history at the Wimbledon, you can bet she will hit back with vengeance as she tries to add to her majors tally before she retires. Sports Desk, DD India.
Now it's time for a special segment where we interact with the sporting personalities, coaches and people related to sports. India's national badminton coach Kulale Gopichand said that PV Sindhu have a good chance to win medal in the Tokyo Olympics in the absence of Caroline Marin. He also praised Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proactive step in sports. Our correspondent Ashok Martolia interacted with him. This is what he has to say.
India's national badminton chief coach Pullela Gopichand is joining me from Hyderabad, where the Indian badminton player they are preparing for Tokyo Olympic. Welcome Pullela in Sports 360. If we look back our history in badminton, we have a rich and talented pool of badminton player in our country. In 2012, Saina Nehwal, she won a bronze medal, and in 2016, PV Sindhu created history by winning a silver medal. And this time in Tokyo Olympic, how do you see the realistic chance of India's winning medal in Tokyo?
Well, I think it's we've got a good team. We've got a world champion in PV Sindhu going in for defending a medal at the Olympics. And also we have Sai Praneeth, who's a world championship bronze medalist, also part of the team. Apart from that, we have Satwik and Chirag, who have done considerably well in the last 2 years. So I'm really hopeful that we will have good performances from all of the players. It's going to be a tough event. We will definitely have players who would have worked really hard, focused for the event, and also some of the countries like China, which haven't participated in anything for the last 1.5 years, will also be a kind of a unknown entity. So I'm sure they will be. We could have some surprises as well. So I'm just hoping that with the preparation the way it is, we are able to convert that into a medal, and definitely we do stand a chance in all of the events which we are playing.
Well, India's team will represented by PV Sindhu in women's single, while Sai Praneeth in men's single, and Chirag Shetty and Satwik Sairaj they will be competing in men's double. But our top players like Saina Nehwal and Srikanth, they will be not a part of this squad. So do you think that the absence of Saina Nehwal and K. Srikanth that will affect in our medal tally in Japan?
I think it's really unfortunate that because of the last minute cancellation of tournaments, we didn't have an opportunity to qualify in maybe another 3 events with Srikanth, Saina, and also Ashwini and Siki. But having said that, I think we have to go with what we have, and I would have loved to have, of course, Sindhu, Saina, and Srikanth as part of the team. But having said that, Sai Praneeth has consistently done well in the last year, and he deserves to be at the Olympics. And Sindhu has been a top player, and as a world champion, she will be a favorite getting into it. So I think missed opportunity as far as Srikanth and Saina is concerned, but I think there's nothing we can do about it now.
Gofi, if we talk about women's single, we have a lone contender of in Tokyo Olympic, PV Sindhu. If we talk about the players which will be participating in women's single, that is Nozomi Okuhara from Japan, she will have a home advantage, while Tai Ji-young from China, she is also the world #1, and this Ratchanok Intanon from Thailand. So keeping these all players in mind, how do you see how do you look at the how do you see the performance of PV Sindhu in Tokyo Olympic?
Definitely she has the capability to win the gold. She's done it in the past in the biggest tournaments in the world, and she's always played well in the bigger tournaments. So I do believe that she has a chance against all of them. I think Ratchanok, Okuhara, Yamaguchi, Tai Zuing, Chen Yufi, Hibing Zhao, they're and Si Young. There are about 6 or 7 players who will be competition. But I think the way Sindhu is playing, I think her way her preparation is going, I do believe that she has definitely a good chance to win the gold in Tokyo.
The biggest name in women's badminton world, Caroline Marin, she will be not a part of Tokyo Olympic. So do you think that in her absence, PV Sindhu have a chance to win medal? Because we have seen in the past playing against Caroline Marin is really difficult for PV Sindhu. So what's your thought on that?
Marin has been somebody who in the last 1 year after her injury has also come back very strongly. So if she was there at the Olympics, she would have definitely been a favorite. And she's had a good record against Sindhu. So I'm happy in a way that Sindhu doesn't have the Carolina Marin competition at the Olympics. But having said that, there are other players also who are very good, and she will have some tough competition from the other players, which is natural and expected at the world level. But I do believe that Sindhu is a genuine contender for the biggest medal in Tokyo.
Prime Minister will also keep eye on Tokyo Olympic, and he always talk to the players. Do you think that his interaction with players really boost the morale of players?
I think it's really wonderful to have the Prime Minister of the country talk about sport. It's a huge thing because never before has the highest office in the country spoken about sport in this manner. If I look back, 2015, there were about 7 or 8 Mann Ki Baats which actually had continuously sport being spoken about. And also very important to note that even when people were losing at the Olympics, the Prime Minister's message was very clear. He said, give it your best shot and we are here to support you. If you win or lose, it doesn't matter. I think that kind of unconditional support is what we look for. And to actually have the uh, players and coaches go and meet the Prime Minister after winning the medals, whether it is in Rio, after Rio, or whether it was after the Asian Games and the Commonwealth Games in 2018. I think this has been a huge boost. Not only that, I think this, in these times of COVID, actually to talk about sport, to have programs like Fit India, Yoga Day, Khelo India, and also actually look personally into the preparation of the Indian team gives the Indian players a huge strength, which is, I think, is very important for a preparation for an event like this in these times and circumstances.
Thank you very much, Gopi, for talking to DD India. We wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Now shifting focus to cricket, India entered the World Test Championship final against New Zealand as favourites. However, the Black Caps defeated them comfortably by 8 wickets in the summit clash. The Indian cricket team started the test match well, but there were some moments where Virat Kohli's men could not perform their best. Here we will look at the main reasons why India lost to New Zealand in Southampton. Failure to dismiss New Zealand's tailenders. While India's low-order batsmen collapsed in both innings, New Zealand's tailender made a vital difference with the bat in their first innings. Shami had brought India back into the contest with 4 wickets burst, but they were unable to clean up the tail. New Zealand were reduced to 162 for 6 at one stage, but Kyle Jamieson came in and smashed a quick-fire 21 of 16 balls. Even though Kane Williamson perished for 49, the experienced Tim Southee scored some useful runs at the end, hitting 2 sixes and a 4 in his 46-ball 30, putting on some valuable runs. Team selection. India started off on the wrong note in the WTC final. They made a bold move by naming their playing 11 on the eve of the match, but despite rain washing out the entire opening day and a wet weather forecast to affect the remainder of the game, they stuck with the same team. India did not field the team for the conditions, which were loaded heavily in the favour of the spinners, as they included 3 fast bowlers and 2 spinners, while New Zealand went in with an all-pace attack, leaving out the spinners. Young Kiwi pacer Kyle Jamieson ripped through the Indian batting in the first innings, taking 5 for 31 as they were dismissed for 217. In reply, India missed the 4th pace bowler dearly. Someone like Mohammad Siraj would have been handful in those conditions instead of left-arm spinner Ravindra Jadeja, who got just 1 wicket in the 3-match and scored 31 runs. Rishabh Pant's rash dismissal. Rishabh Pant attempted to hit India out of the trouble in their second innings. The left-hander played a couple of incredible knocks in Australia earlier this year, and Indian fans were hoping for another piece of magic from the youngster. But he threw his wicket away attempting a rash shot. Pant brought some life back in the Indian camp when he smashed Jamieson through mid-on for a 4 and then charged fast bowler Neil Wagner to hit him over mid-off for another boundary. It was the same aggressive approach which resulted in his dismissal for 41. If only Pant had shown some maturity with his shot selection and batted on till T, the outcome might have been different. Jasprit Bumrah's off day. Jasprit Bumrah is undoubtedly one of the best all-format bowler in the world right now. However, the right-arm pacer could not get going in the World Test Championship final. He was the only Indian bowler to run wicketless in the WTC final. Bumrah bowled 26 overs in the first innings, giving away 57 runs. In the second innings, he bowled 10.4 overs, conceding 35 runs. Bumrah also got an opportunity to bat twice in the game, and on both occasions he got out before opening his account. Since he was one of India's lead pacers in this game, his disappointing performance played a vital role in the team's defeat. Poor batting in both innings. From 146 for 3, India collapsed to 217 all out in the first innings. It was one of the turning points of the game. The second innings effort was worse than the previous one as they slumped to 170 all out, leaving the Kiwis an easy chase of 139 runs. It was a disappointing effort by Kohli and company on the reserve's 6th day as conditions were much better for batting. This was the first time since 2018 that no Indian batsman scored a half-century in either of the innings of a test match. Sports Desk, DD India. Now let's take a look at the important updates from the Tokyo Olympics.
Tokyo Olympics organizers said that they would hold a ticket lottery to reduce the number of domestic spectators to attend opening and closing ceremonies as well as several other sports. Ticket holders to be selected in a new lottery after domestic spectators were capped up to at 10,000 at each venue will be asked to refrain from taking en route to go straight to venues and then straight home and cannot ask athletes for autographs. Tokyo Olympics organizers have secured about 80% of the medical staff needed to stage the games. It comes amid worries over infections and the slow pace of vaccination rollout in the Japanese capital. Toshiaki Endo, the vice president of the organizing committee for the Olympics, also said that he would prefer no spectators to be present at the games to help to reassure the public. Overseas spectators have previously been banned from the Tokyo Olympics due to fears over the pandemic. Japan's top medical advisor reiterated that hosting the Olympics during a pandemic is not normal. Shigeru Omi, head of the government's advisory panel on coronavirus response, when asked about the risks involved in holding the games, told the parliamentary committee that the government and the Olympic Committee will have to bear a heavy responsibility or risk losing support from the general public. Omi also said that guidance given to the government by public health officials, including himself, was not reaching the International Olympic Committee. Public opinion polls in Japan have consistently shown that a majority want the games cancelled or put off yet again after being delayed by 1 year because of the coronavirus crisis. The Japanese public voiced concerns but said spectators should be allowed in venues following the Olympic organizers' decision to cap 10,000 people. The decision by the organizers comes days after experts said that holding the event without fans was the least risky option during the COVID-19 pandemic. The limit for the games, scheduled to begin on July 23rd, will be set at 50% of venue capacity up to a maximum of 10,000 people. International Olympic Committee Vice President John Coates and Tokyo 2020 President Sayako Hashimoto visited Ariake Gymnastics Center in Tokyo as the countdown to the opening of the Tokyo Olympics reached the 1-month point. Tokyo Olympic organizers decided on Wednesday against selling alcohol at venues. Organizers have pushed ahead with preparations for the games postponed from 2020 because of the pandemic, despite strong concerns among the Japanese public that hosting delegations from across the globe could result in further COVID-19 outbreaks. Sports Desk, DD India.
That's all in this edition of Sports 360. Before we wrap up, we leave you with these sporting moments of the week. Namaskar.